It's been such a long time that I've filmed a video that I can't even speak, as you can see. So, okay, guys. Today we're going to do something a little different from what we usually do, and I'll tell you why. So I've been thinking of having something new on my channel, of doing something different, because I don't like when something is monotonous. I keep changing stuff, I keep adding stuff, as you can see from my account as well, because it feels like it's the same thing every single time and I would be bored even myself. So I imagine what the viewers and readers are thinking. So that being said, today we're going to do something a little different, and I'm going to tell you the reason behind it. One, it was because I thought that it would be boring to have all the same things every single time, but also there's another reason as well, which is that I wanted to have you guys on my channel a little more than a little more than is happening right now. Oh my god, I can't speak. See, it's been such a long time. I don't know. I just forgot how to speak. Whatever. I'm gonna remember that, and that's a reminder for myself to kind of try to do all of this more than I do right now. Okay, anyway, coming back to the topic, I wanted to include you guys more in what I'm doing on my channel. So I decided to do a kind of a different series. Like, we had Meet a Writer, and I think that I have to continue it more because I really missed that, and I thought that that was one of the most unique things on my channel. Not to be really modest or something. And yeah, so this series is going to be called Let's Discuss. I'm going to think of different questions so that we can discuss together. Well, it's not going to be really together because I'm not going to do it online. Like, you're not going to participate right at the second that I'm filming the video. But at the same time, I'm going to give you my thoughts on that topic, and I'm going to discuss it myself, and then let you guys tell me what you think about it in the comments below. So yeah, see my hairstyle, it's kind of different today. I wanted to do something stylish and trendy, but I feel like it's not really visible on camera or it doesn't really look the way that I wanted it to, but whatever. Okay, so let's get into the topic. So recently, as you know, I've been taken courses to be able to complete a certificate in editing and publishing, and one of my last courses, so I have two more courses, one that I'm taking right now, and also another course that I'll be taking in September. So this one is called Grammar for Editors, and as with every single course that I'm taking, we usually have discussion posts as well, and our professors are giving us topics to think about, or even the self-reflections are a little similar to that too. So we're given a topic or a question that we have to think about, and then either write about it in the self-reflection or write about it in the discussion post. So I had a question for the last week's, yeah, I guess it was the last week's assignment, right? If I'm not mistaken. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So we had a question, and I was like, oh, it would be really interesting to understand and to know what my followers, my friends are thinking about that question. And I decided to kind of have this segment on my channel where it's called Let's Discuss, and then the topic. So this video's topic is the question about whether great writers read a lot. So the question was, all great writers read. If I'm not mistaken, that's how it was formulated. And the idea is, like, you have to read a lot if you want to be a great writer. And I have a few things to say about this. The first thing is, and please, I would really appreciate it if we are not judgmental of each other's opinions, of each other's thoughts, because as a reminder, just want to put it out here that the videos that I'm filming are meant to be only taken positively, meaning that both the people that comment on my videos, and usually what I'm saying, I'm not saying this in a bad sense, anything that I'm saying should not be taken in a negative way, because I always mean the best. Well, I try to put it that way, at least, so that people understand that as well through my videos. But please be understanding of each other's thoughts and emotions and everything like that. So this is just a small disclaimer before I start talking about the topic. So I was thinking a lot about this question because I had to answer it for my class, and I was like, okay, so from our childhood, we are always taught and we're always said the fact that you always have to read a lot. Even if you don't want to be a great writer, you have to read a lot to be able to become an intelligent human being. And also whenever you talk to somebody and everything like that, you always have to kind of show them that you've read a lot. You kind of make those citations. You keep quoting some paragraphs, or you refer to a character, and that's how people understand that you're an educated human being. That's one of the ways. So we've always, especially if you want to become a writer, you're always taught at school and at the universities as well that you have to read a lot. But I actually agree with it partly, but also there are some other things that I've always thought about, and I'm like, doesn't it limit you a little bit, like when you read a lot? And I'll tell you why I think that way. The first thing is that I've always thought that if I read a lot, I mean, I do like reading, don't get me wrong, I really like it, but the thing is that I like writing more than I like reading. That's the thing with me. I've always thought that if you read a lot, unconsciously you start plagiarizing those people, the styles, the plot, the characters. And it doesn't mean that you're doing it like on purpose, but sometimes it really happens unconsciously. And I've felt that on myself as well. Whenever writing something, I'm like, oh, did I take this from this book, or did I take this from the series that I've just recently watched? And it felt to me like I was doing something bad without wanting to do it. And even though like I was reading to be able to understand how to build a character, how to build the plot, how to build the dialogue, the conflict, and all of that kind of stuff, but at the same time I was like, am I not plagiarizing this person? Or there have been a lot of cases with me when I was reading a poem, and after that some expressions caught my attention, and I decided to use that little expression as the beginning of my own poem. And obviously I kind of wrote it in a totally different way, but I'm like, am I plagiarizing this person's writing right now? So am I doing that? Because I would really not want to do that for sure, because I really want to claim like it's my work, and everything about it is original and unique. So I wouldn't want any other person to read it and say, oh, I read it somewhere, I have seen it somewhere, or anything similar to that. So that was one of my thoughts. I was like, yeah, I think I've done that one or two times, and sometimes it doesn't really, again, it's not happening on purpose. You're just unconsciously just taking that because it's either because you liked it, or because you feel like you came up with it yourself, but actually you read it somewhere. And that was one of my thoughts. And another thing is that I feel like sometimes people are saying that you have to read a lot to be able to also learn about the style, the punctuation, the right thing to do it, right? But now that I've taken so many courses in editing and publishing, sometimes I feel like, first of all, the rules are not always followed, the grammatical rules that I'm talking about. Sometimes like the editor can suggest something, but then the writer is, you know what, it doesn't really convey the meaning that I wanted to convey. So please, let's just change it a little bit in terms of the meaning, or in terms of the punctuation. Or there's another case when just a writer wants it to be that way, and the writer doesn't really want to accept the changes made by the editor. And so I'm thinking, so I don't know. So one of my thoughts is whether it's really correct to learn punctuation based on literature, because sometimes it's not really what the grammatical rules are saying, but it's more like what the writer felt at that moment that should be put that way. Or sometimes a few variations are done, so the rules are kind of circled around. And that was one of my thoughts, and I'm like, does it really mean that you have to learn the punctuation based on a book, on reading a book? And I don't know, this question made me think about it a lot. And as you can imagine, when I even had to put down all of my thoughts in a reflection paper, I was like, okay, so where do I start from? Because I have kind of contradictory opinions on this. And I feel like it also, when you read a lot, it kind of starts coming back to one of my points, which is like sometimes it kind of limits your opportunities to grow. I might not be like completely right about this, because sometimes when you read a lot, you start. Okay, so I'm thinking of, saying 2 points, but I'm just gonna say all of those separately. So one of the things is that when you read a lot, it starts limiting your creativity, because there are some things that you might want to do differently, and then you see that amazing, great, incredible writers have done it differently. And you might be like, okay, so maybe this is the right direction to go. Maybe this is the right way to do it. And that might kind of limit your options. And also, it doesn't really make you think a lot, so to say. One of the things, that's what I wanted to say, that it limits you in a way, because if you don't know anything about the reading and the writing world, you're sitting in and your imagination just starts going out of the door, out of the windows. It's like, oh, let's do this, let's do that, and let's just kind of make him do this, make this happen. And then you're like, oh, those are the possibilities. And just because you can't go and read it somewhere, you start thinking of ways yourself, and you start kind of always making your brain work on that, work on the creativity, on the new things that could be done, on kind of finding the most unreal things and making those things happen in your book. Again, this might not be the most correct thing to say or to do, but this is just what I'm thinking at the moment. And also, it even might change in a short period of time. So I'm just saying what I feel about it right now. And also, one of the other things is that it always stopped me reading books, stopped me from writing my own books. Because this is a bad thing, and I know that I shouldn't be doing this, but I've always compared myself to those writers. I've always compared myself to the best writers in the world, and whenever I did that, I couldn't write anymore. And that was really sad, to be very honest with you. It's like I consciously understood that I didn't have to do it. That was the wrong thing to do, to compare myself to my favorite writers, like, for example, Margaret Mitchell, who wrote Gone with the Wind, which is my favorite book of all. And also I wasn't comparing myself to Sidney Sheldon, because he's one of the other amazing writers that I really love. I didn't compare myself to him because I knew that I wasn't going to go into the direction of like crime and detective stories at the moment. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll just read him and enjoy whatever he's writing, and I'm not going to go into that direction, so I'm okay with that. But I was comparing myself to the people who were writing poetry, with the people who were writing romantic stories. And then I was like, okay, so if somebody had the kind of option to choose either to read my book or my poetry, or to read somebody else's, the poetry or the amazing book by this incredible, talented author, would they choose me? Of course they wouldn't choose me. Even I wouldn't choose myself. And all of those thoughts were kind of making me go crazy. And I realized that that's one of the reasons why I started enjoying books less, so to say, because I kept comparing myself. Now it's a little bit different for me, because when I start comparing myself to that writer, I decided with myself that I was going to have that switch. Whenever I start comparing myself to a writer, I'm like, don't do that. I remember that switch, and I kind of force myself not to think about it anymore. I literally stop myself, and I don't let myself think about it more and for a longer period of time. And I'm like, okay, this is not what you're doing. This is a wrong thing to do. This is a wrong path to take. So please don't do it. And yeah, that's what I've been doing. But also, I also know that different books at the same time, let me just end this video on a positive note as well, that I know that books really help you understand life. They help you understand how to good books help you understand how to write. Bad books help you understand, well, I wouldn't say bad books, but books that are worse than the ones that are considered to be good or you consider to be good. And the books that don't really fit your taste help you understand how you wouldn't want to develop your own characters, plot, and book in general. And also, it kind of sometimes it takes you towards the path that you didn't know you were interested in, or you didn't know anything about, but now you do. Whatever I'm saying can be taken both in terms of the plot, but also in terms of the style as well, the word choice as well. And in general, it helps you really improve your vocabulary, work on your imagination, on your style. And yeah, I'm not saying that reading books is bad. No, I really enjoy doing that as well. And it gives me a lot. But also, I would say that my opinion is kind of, well, 50-50 from time to time, or 60-40 from time to time. It kind of differs. But also, I wouldn't say that I can answer to this question like saying, yeah, I absolutely think this is good. I absolutely think all great writers should read more. I absolutely think they should read less. No, it's kind of 50-50 for me. It depends on the situation. And I would really, really love to know what you guys think about this question, because now this is a community that is all about writing and reading, and also kind of going deep into different questions and poems and pieces to understand many different phenomena, and also to answer questions if we can. So let me know what you think about this question, and I would be so interested to read your comments to understand what you guys think, and to kind of have this conversation going. And let me know if you like this kind of a segment. Should I continue doing this, or should I just, stop doing it with this video and just, move on to another topic, to another segment? Please let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next video. I love you so much. Mwah! Sending you positivity and kisses, and we'll see each other in the next video. Keep looking forward. Bye.